So today I would like to talk about resistance and meditation. There are literally thousands of videos and materials about meditation. However, there are very few materials and videos regarding resistance and meditation. And as anybody who has practiced meditation for an extended period of time, we will know that resistance is just part of a meditation that will have to deal with, so things will come up. So I basically summed up what I wanted to say today in 3 different points. The first point I wanted to make is just what is meditation, because generally in popular culture we're presented with meditation as some sort of relaxation and something wonderful, and we think that we go to some exotic place in the world, we sit down, meditate for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and then we finally have something and walk around like with a halo over our heads, and we're just walking in bliss. Which anybody who has done it over an extended period of time know that that's not the case at all. First of all, meditation is not relaxation. Relaxation is a very important component of it, obviously. And meditation is not necessarily something positive or something joyful or delightful. Yes, there will be joyful experiences, of course. There will be delightful experiences, yes, for sure. But in essence, meditation is called seeing things as they are. Nothing more and also nothing less. So both anything that we experience in meditation, good or bad, are actually part of the meditation, right? So meditation is not a joyful thing we sit down and feel bliss. That's not really meditation. There will be blissful moments, there will be enjoyable moments, but that's not the point. The point of the practice is just being still and seeing things, the nature of things as they are. And as we continue to do that, there will be joyful experiences arising, there will be negative experience arising. They're both the same thing, really. That's the point that I wanted to make. Good and bad in experiences in meditation are practically the same. They're the same part of the practice, which is really a lifelong practice. It is like being in a relationship. Being in a relationship, you have joyful moments. Like there's the honeymoon phase, they just feel great, and there are also some experiences in a relationship that are very difficult. If you talk to somebody who has a wonderful relationship for a long time, you ask them and they will just acknowledge those moments. So those bad experiences in a relationship, as we all have experienced, and those good experiences are the same because they're part of the relationship itself. That's a very simplistic way to put it, but in my experience it's pretty accurate. So the first point is that meditation does not have to be something wonderful to start with or to continue. It's just seeing things as they are and dealing and observing what arises. But most importantly, and that's very important, using those experiences, those negativities, even the hard and difficult moments, using it as fuel, using it as our homework to work with, because that's how we advance. One particular teacher that I work with, she says that she's been practicing for over 50 years, by the way. And she said that the first time she went on a retreat, came back for 6 weeks, she could not even enter her meditation room in her room, let alone sit down to meditate. That's how much negativity was coming up. And it's a good thing. Those negative experiences, those negative feelings, those negative thoughts, those negativity in our body are wonderful things. Those are things that they say turning manure into sugar. That's when they use manure of the cattle to fertilize the sugar canes in Asia and the rest of the world. So that's what we do. We use all those negativities. We use all those old problems that are surface as fuel. We transmute them and we go further in our practice. So that's the first distinction that I wanted to make. Meditation is not like walking around like a halo over our head and so on. There will be discomfort, but that discomfort is a good thing. It will be our homework. It will be things to work with. My friend used to say, the devil you know is better than the one you don't know. So those part of ourselves that we usually push away, that we try to hide, that we try to distract ourselves with temporary things, those things come to a surface because we're just sitting still, right? And we become aware of them. And some of those things can be from our childhood. They can be from such a long time ago. As someone said, when we practice meditation, things will come up like dead fish to the surface of the water, and it's very much true. Thoughts and feelings that we did not know that we had, or we thought that we had dealt with many years ago, they may come up. All these sensations come up, and that's a wonderful thing. Resistance is good in meditation to start with, because if we did not practice far enough, we would have not feel that resistance. So this resistance is a sure sign that we are going deeper and deeper in our meditation. I wish I had known that many years ago when I started meditating. So that's a very important point. That's number one. So just expect to feel uncomfortable sometimes, and just, we have to deal with it. And number two is just recognizing resistance. In my experience early on, I did not even know what resistance was. It would just pass me by, and I would not even notice it. So obviously everybody's different. We all have different forms of resistance. But resistance can be so subtle that it just kind of goes over our head. We do not notice it, and we miss the chance to work with it. Resistance can be something like our eating. It can be something like just having a negative feeling around. It could be light depression. It could be severe depression. It could be a craving for unhealthy food. It could be just staying up late, which means we miss the morning meditation and we fall off the wagon down the road. It could be sleeping in. It could be just spending too much time on the computer, social media, instead of going and sitting down meditating. It could be many things. But generally, it's just a general feeling of discomfort. We feel in the gut when we want to practice meditation. And that might intensify, and it may derail our practice, which is fine, which is good. But so the second thing that I wanted to talk about today is recognizing resistance as it is. It is a good thing to feel resistance. That means that we're going deeper into our practice. And also we have to be very watchful to see what feelings arise, how our mood is, how we feel about our practice any given day. Do we look forward to it? Are we hesitant to do it? The other day, for example, and I've been dealing with this particular resistance in a couple of months, and I was sitting there and I felt this kind of granite-like rock in my just center, in my belly. That was the feeling. And for the first time ever, I felt like even nauseous. So I sat up and sat in my bed and lied in my bed and tried to relax a little bit. But I said, no, let's go back. And I went back there and sat there and dealt with it. And after a while, it went to the background and it just disappeared. And I had wonderful, long session of meditation. So number two is to recognize the resistance, become aware of it, and know that it's a good thing. It's good to feel resistance. It's our homework. We have to deal with it. The devil you know is better than the one you don't. If you feel negative about something, if you feel negative about life, that's a good thing. Acknowledge it, become aware of it, and work with it. This is very, very important. In our general popular culture, if you watch the self-help gurus talk about, no, you have to have always a smile on your face, you have to always be happy, you have to always be up. No, that's not the case at all. I'm going to make a separate video on this one. Those difficult times, those hard times are where we grow most or as much as any other time. So it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel resistance. It's okay to have this yucky feeling in your belly. It's okay to remember things from the past that make you cry, how you were treated, how you treated other people, the circumstances. All those things are good. It's good to feel them out. It's good to release them. We've been carrying all this negativity, all this material for ages, sometimes for generations. If you have experienced intergenerational trauma, which most of us do, we've been carrying it for ages. I remember things that happened to my grandparents at that day, and I'm sure some of it has trickled into me as well, and those are the things that I have had to deal with. So it's a wonderful thing, and it's our opportunity to heal the world, because when we heal ourselves, we really heal the world. There was a quote that I shared, someone that I learned from my current teacher. Is like, our practice is the greatest gift we can give to the world. That's basically the basic form of service, because the way we behave, the energy we carry really transforms the world. There's this famous story of a butterfly flapping wings in Brazil can cause a hurricane in another part of the world, and it's very much true. So number 2 is recognizing resistance and really welcoming resistance. It's good. Not welcoming it in a way that it overwhelms us, but deal with it as much as we can at any given time. We're just walking away and then coming back, we'll deal with it later time. And which brings me to point number 3, how to deal with it. So this particular teacher that I've been working with, and I don't have the permission to give the name yet, but I'll share it at some point, is to tune in to that negative feeling that we're experiencing. I'm sure it's not a unique point. It's part of different teachings. Number 3, we just tune in to that negativity that we're feeling, to that feeling of resistance. It's not so much talking. There can be talking involved, but it's not really irrational things. We don't study it necessarily. We don't think about it. It's not a process of thinking. We just sit quietly. And with every fiber of our being, we just tune in to that feeling, to that resistance. If it's a tension, we just sit down quietly while we're practicing, and while we're doing the breathing exercise, for example, if it's a breathing exercise, and we feel that negativity arising, or that feeling of resistance, whatever it may be arising, we just sit still and we just focus on it. We tune in. We just tune into it. A teacher once told me about meditation tuning in, and that example came to my mind. The example was, if you're like lying in bed ready to go to bed and you hear a noise and you don't know if it's just a tree, a noise outside, or someone actually coming in the house. The way you tune into it, you just like become very quiet and tune into that noise, listening. Is there someone coming in? Is someone going out? Whatever. So when we feel that resistance, we just sit down, we tune into it. We stop a regular method of meditation. We just tune into that feeling. We just sit still with it without really necessary words. There can be words, but just tuning into it. And it's not easy. It's not easy if there's a feeling we've been running away for most of our lives from. It's not easy to just jump into it. But we just sit with it and we feel it out. And we will find out what it is and what it wants and where it came from. And it's so freaky, because we can't sometimes remember the exact time that fear or that negativity came into it, the exact moment, the exact date. It's very freaky that way. So we just tune into that feeling and really embrace it, but listen to it. And quite often it has a message. Maybe it is fear. Maybe it is a fear of going forward in our lives. Maybe it is a hurt. Maybe it can be a lack of faith in ourselves. Maybe we carry a hurt from the past, maybe from our family, maybe from another generation that we carry with ourselves, and that may be causing that resistance. But generally speaking, quite often it's just a part of ourselves that doesn't want to go further, because down the road we know that the ego is going to be dissolving, and it doesn't want to see that it doesn't really exist in that current form, because our ego wants to hold on to whatever it has and our false sense of self. So resistance will arise, and the way to deal with it is to tune in. And there's also a number of books, a number of videos from Peter Levine, I think is his name, is the felt sense. You feel the sense that you're experiencing at a given moment. Just the felt sense. How do I feel right now? What does it mean? Just tuning in. And it's a very powerful exercise. And you notice that you know right away. And when you do this practice, you just know different negativities come to you. You just recognize them, that you have dealt with them in the past, they're recurring, or what they want, or the meaning behind it is, some unfinished business. You just work with it. So that's step number 3, how to deal with it. It's just tuning in and practicing the felt sense. There's a lot of material on practicing the felt sense. So I just leave it at that. And it will come and go. And then once we realize it, it will either lessen and go in the background where it's not in your way, or it may just disappear. And there are many other ways to deal with it. Mindfulness throughout the day. What I like to do is, when I practice this felt sense, dealing with resistance, if I say I have to drive and do errands, I tune into the same feeling again. I practice tuning in even when I'm doing errands, when I'm doing gardening and other things, yard work. I tune into that felt sense and see, what is it? What is that negativity? What does it want from me? Where did it come from? Just tuning in and listening to it, and I find that very helpful. Another very, very important tool for which I'm very grateful is journaling. You can buy a dollar store notebook and just write into it. My favorite time is in the morning when I start having coffee. I think about things and just write it down. And the way it is, you just write down about that sense, felt sense, and tuning in. And just write down whatever comes to mind. Not really. What works for me personally is not having a structure of just writing about it and just letting it out. Just writing about it as your thought and feelings appear, and going deeper and deeper. And sooner or later we go like, that's what it is. That's what's holding me back. And then we work with it. Another important point point number 3 is that it takes time. If we experience negativity that has been with us for many years, obviously, it may or may not go away right away, but it's just something that we keep up with every day a little bit, just working with it. It's like going to the gym. We don't get fit and all of a sudden. It's just, we make it a habit and we go there and we just practice, and sooner or later it will disappear. Not only will it disappear, disappear is not the right word, it will be transmuted, but it will give us a deep sense of understanding and compassion for ourselves and other people. It makes us grow. It makes us go forward. And the more we do it, we go forward, and then we pull back again. As my teacher says, expansion and contraction. So we go forward, and then we feel something else. We work with it. We expand a little bit more. So this is, in a nutshell, how to deal with resistance in meditation. There's a lot more to be said, but I just wanted to keep this video short and sweet. And it's a very important work, and it's a very, very rewarding work. I was walking in the store the other day. I had family over, and we made a bit of a dinner, and I noticed how people sort of responding to me differently when I have been meditating for a long time. Just people that I don't know, they smile, they say hi, they just have this positive vibe towards me, and which happens to everybody who does the work, obviously. And I realized that's one of the fruits of dealing with our resistance, dealing with our negativity, doing the inner work. As we change, our outer world changes, because people and events even respond differently to us. By events, I mean, if somebody's rude to you, it doesn't really, you don't get into arguments as much as a person would before doing the work. So this inner work is what I'm saying is very, very important. It will change our lives for the better, and it will eventually change the world. Once again, my parents went through a difficult time this last year and a half, And I don't know if it wasn't for my practice and this inner work I have done, I don't know what they would have done. So your practice is very important. Your meditation practice is super important. And that's essentially the work that we do is the gift and the service we give to the world. There's no doubt about it. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And once you practice that, you will find out. I hope you'll find this video helpful. If there are any questions or suggestions, please do leave a comment below, and I will address that. Other than that, have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and talk to you next time.